What's up, guys? My name's Cole Rowland. I'm a professional artist and producer, and today I'm going to be doing a session production breakdown with a heavy focus on guitars for my latest original song, Lost in a Memory. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how I use the new Bogern Digital Amp Knob Trivium bundle to create all of the lead and rhythm tones that you hear in this song, how I chose to layer them up, how I chose to EQ, and most importantly, the feature that stood out to me was how mix-ready and CPU efficient these plugins are right out of the box without really doing anything to them. Pretty insane. Right out of the box, that's what we got for the rhythm tone. So these are all right in the plugin. Gorgeous. It sounds insane, and that's just the plugin with no additional EQ, compression, or effects or anything. That's what you're gonna be hearing right when you cue it up. So I want to focus first off on the rhythm guitars and show you guys what we've done here. To make this work with my session, I've done some light EQ and compression, but that's really it, just to kind of tame some of the harsh frequencies. Once we layered everything up in a track and we've got synths and vocals and pads and everything fighting for space, we gotta, do what we do in the mix. But to hear these two rhythm guitars on our main hook riff, here's what it sounds like. All I've done is track them pan left and right. Sounds so good. And then personal trick of mine that I like to do on big choruses or big hooks or things like that, I'm going to drop two more rhythm layers underneath. And these were done with a Digitech drop pedal, just an octave drop. You can do this with plugins in your DAW. I just prefer the responsiveness of this with the hardware. So I've done the same thing, panned hard, panned left, panned hard right, hard left, and then dropped these in octave, and then I just trimmed off the highs because these are going to sit underneath the other two. Then let's have a listen of these together. Now we're starting to stack it up, and I will show you the lead guitar melody on this hook soloed. So again, this is the Trivium Amp Knob lead tone. Pretty minimal. The only thing I've done here, I believe I got the chorus and the delay switched on. Yep. So chorus and delay, and I'll show you what these sound like with and without. That's dry. But as you'll see at this next part, we've got some big lead notes that we're going to need some of that sustain on. Listen to that delay just echo out. And this Corey here, the way I interpret it is it sounds kind of like a doubler mixed with a chorus. That's just my personal interpretation from using it. And I thought it worked really great on this lead to give it some more depth. So let's play this together with the four stacked up rhythm parts. And here's all the guitars. Everything is like, especially with how great those gates respond, already so tight. I barely have to do anything to it. Very CPU efficient right out of the box too. Like, I'm working in a pretty large session of nearly 200 tracks for this song, and the computer and Logic are keeping up great, which that's a green flag to me. I didn't have to freeze tracks. I didn't have to print things out and have to make workarounds and stuff. I was actually very efficiently able to just duplicate tracks and do what I needed to do. So before we come into that part, I'm going to show you guys what I did at this EQ section. So we kind of did like a quote unquote radio chorus to start the song. And all I did, like I mentioned, since the plugin is so CPU efficient, I came in here and just duplicated the tones and then used an EQ to cut everything below 1K. So we got a low pass going on here, and that's really the majority of it. So have a listen on how these come in. Keep all the vocals muted. So this is basically just the instrumental version of the track. Let's let it rip. Right into a nice drop verse. So next part I want to show you is the contrast from the drop verse into the second part of the verse. When we start to bring the guitars back in, we've got a couple cool things going on. So we're going to be listening for rhythm right and L. We're listening for that. We're listening for these radio affected or high passed kind of call and answers. So good. I love the way that contrast works. And then that's other interesting thing I've done is I took the lead tone and I automated the EQ on this riff. So here's what the riff sounds like without the EQ automation. That's going to be hanging out in the background of our verse. And with automation, we've got this. Again, nothing that you can't do outside of stock plugins. The guitar tone remains the same. No changes to cabs or impulse responses or anything. That is the default lead preset. And then all I've done is just automate an EQ downstream of that. So let's put it all together. Verse 1. Chorus, let's go. So this is a little bit different. We've got some similar themes going on here, and we've got a couple different things. Those gates are so incredibly responsive, and we're not sacrificing tone at all. Those are just the rhythms. And then we've got our lead riff that we heard earlier in verse 1 coming back, harmonized, no pass. And then run it all together one more time. All right, we've got our heavy breakdown verse. What else do we call it? Got two elements here, similar as before. We've got our like breakdown, just chunked up parts. Really tight gate response on those. And then we've got a dissonant kind of pan here, automated left and right. And I don't think I even EQ'd out the low end on this. I think it's pretty much just what you get from the lead tone. And then bring our high pass break here. Let's put it all together. You hear a couple of those vocal buses coming through. So this is the only instance that I actually printed out a channel, and that's because I wanted all three of these guitars merged. So rhythm right, rhythm left, and rhythm center. And we just took these, put them through a low pass, and automated that up so you can watch that rise here. Keeps them all nice and consolidated into one. Right back into our chorus. So this is our chorus 2.0. Basically, we're taking our regular chorus and we're changing something pretty significant that still is going to lend itself to what we're after. Just a bit of a vibe shift. One of my favorite parts of the song that I really wanted to dive into and show you guys what I did. I was lucky enough to have Sophie Lloyd write a guest solo for this song, and we had two options. I ended up taking her DIs and reamping them with the Trivium amp knob lead and just doing some kind of like dissonant, especially on this first build you're going to hear here, some kind of like dissonant reverby parts to create kind of like a mood of like there's something big coming. So here's these tracks soloed. She's got a Sustainiac pickup on her signature guitar too, so we get these really just rich harmonics. Love the way that she layered those up. And again, just to show you, take all these plugins off. So that's what we're working with. Just amp knob. And then, like I said, to create a mood, I had a reverb and echo bus added onto that. Just to give it some space. Fantastic. So then we're going to go into her solo, and we had this like intro solo part kind of sectioned off in its own world. And then you'll hear as these come in, I'm going to kind of flip off and solo what you need to hear. Epic phrasing. And then we come together on this part going into the bridge. And I thought this was really cool because we have two very different signature guitars with Kiesel, different sounds. And like I said, I reamped both of these with amp knob lead. This is how they sounded together when I blended them. So smooth. And the only last thing that I want to touch on is this song's got a pretty epic key change at the end. And here's what this kind of key change sounds like. Rhythms and leads. So we've got this lead going up. Bring back our main theme from the beginning. So on both of these lead channels, I took off the Corey selector switch here and just kept delay. So stylistic choice. I did that because we got a lot going on with strings, pads, vocal ad-libs. I think adding kind of like a double or a chorusy feel to the lead guitar was not necessary. So I took that off. Super simple. Just flip the switch down. And then we were able to achieve that sound. And then all together, going into this big outro section here. Rhythm guitar is really pumping. Bring the theme back. Again, guys, my name is Cole Rowland. Thank you for watching this guitar breakdown on my latest original song, Lost in a Memory. Special thanks to Bogren Digital for working with me on this project and for making such a great plugin. If you guys want to get your 14-day free trial of the Trivium Amp Knob plugin bundle, link is at the top of the description below, and I will see you in the next video. You